We often come across difficult questions, and sometimes the answer is simpler than we think. Now, when I say simple answers to complex questions, I don't mean that if you answer it, everybody's going to agree with you, because there are different reasons why people ask questions. Many people ask questions, and one of the things that you really need to do is to figure out why they're asking it. Some people love to ask questions just to put you on the spot. Some people want to ask questions because they really honestly want to know. Here's an example of a question that maybe an atheist or an agnostic would ask to see if they can stump you. This is just a typical type of question. You may have even heard it before, and it goes like this. Can God make a rock so big that he can't move it? Now, I trust you can see the dilemma that the question is trying to put you in, or the person that is asking the question. If God can't make a rock so big that he can't move it, then he's not all powerful. If he can make a rock so big that he can't move it, then he's not all powerful. All right? Actually, what you might say here is God is in between a rock and a hard place. All right? But here's the answer to that question. It's a simple answer to the question. Since God is infinitely powerful, he would have to make a rock so infinitely large in order not to be able to move it. It'd have to be infinitely large. If it was infinitely large, it would cover all known space. And if it covered all known space, there'd be no place to move it. So there's a simple answer to a complex question. And it doesn't mean that you want to get into arguments. It doesn't mean somebody's necessarily going to buy into your answer. One thing you always have to ask yourself is this: why is that person asking me the question? I was sitting on a plane one time talking to a guy, on spiritual matters, and I eventually asked him, are you just asking, or do you really want to know? There's a big difference. If a person really wants to know, you can probably give them a pretty good answer. If you've been a Christian any length of time, this question will be asked if it hasn't been asked. Why do you believe the Bible? Why do you believe an ancient book written many, many years ago over a long period of time by different people? There are great scholars that have tried to answer that question, and many are certainly very capable of answering that question. And the answer to that question can be rather lengthy. But if you just have a few minutes to talk to somebody, here's what I would probably say to them. The reason I believe the Bible is because it tells the truth about humanity. And here's what I mean by that. I'm going to read a little text to you. It was written 2,000 years ago. It's found in 2 Timothy chapter 3, the first few verses. But understand this, that in the last days there will come difficult times. Men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, and not loving God, treacherous, reckless, swollen in conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. The reason I read that is because it shouldn't have ever said that. I mean, that's just not a very smart thing to say, but the Bible still said it. Why isn't it a smart thing to say? It's not a smart thing to say because we're evolving. We're getting better according to many scientific research, and if you believe in evolution. If this is where evolution takes us, thank you, but no thank you, because this is exactly what is happening today. These are perilous times. Just go on CNN, Fox, you go to any news feed you want, and all of this is being played out, but it shouldn't be. It should say, but in the last days, man is evolving and times will get better and better. Everyone's going to love one another. We're all going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. That ain't happening. And that's why I believe the Bible. It tells the truth about the human heart. I suspect if you've been a Christian, again, for any length of time, you might have heard this. Science has proven that the Bible is not true. You may have heard that before. And you can get into all kinds of discussions on that. But I would simply say this if I was to be asked that question or told that given that statement, that science has proven the Bible not to be true. I would say this to the person. Did you know that science has proven that yogurt is bad for you? But another science says yogurt is good for you. Which one of the sciences are we talking about? One science will say this diet is good for you. Another science will say that diet is bad for you. We've all heard this. All you have to do is go on the internet and you can hear the word science over and over and over again. And I've dealt with this in other videos because I think it's an important thing to think about when you're answering this question. Science has proven the Bible not to be true. Which science? Because as time continues to move forward, it seems as though science is proving more and more of the Bible to actually be true. That's another video for another time. But you'd be surprised how many people have simply heard that statement, do not know what they're talking about, and they throw that out. So your response, your simple response to that is, which science are we talking about? The science that years and years ago said the Bible wasn't true, that science has been proven to be false. Or the science today. For example, the science that says we're evolving. If this is evolution, thanks but no thanks. Because we're not in a very good place as a nation and the world. And the Bible has told us that a long time ago. That's why I trust it. Thanks for watching.